Okay, I got this interesting question that was sent to me on my WhatsApp. So I'll read out the question because I felt it was really worth giving an answer in terms of a video, because I felt that the answer would add value to many people who especially want to migrate. Okay, where's the question? The question is, okay. This is what he says. Hi Loy, there is always this one question which I wanted to ask you. I mean, I am in your shoes. I'm an Indian raised in UAE, and I absolutely hate the culture of India, and now I'm trying to obtain for an Aussie permanent residency. In your case, why did you not do the same? Why have you always described yourself as an Indian passport holder, not attempting to change it? Please reply. It'll give me and gain some perspective into things. It'll help me gain some perspective into things. Okay. It's a good question, and I think I don't know why I never answered this, but today I will. Okay, so listen to the comments, listen to my answer, and then put down your observations. Now, see, without a doubt, migrating to a Western country which gives you benefits and perks, like they'll take, let's say, free medical, or they'll take care of you once you're old, or they give you pension, or they have a system in place. It's kind of good. I think the biggest thing why people go to the West is because, one is, it offers you citizenship, and this is I think a very valuable resource that people who work in the Middle East are looking for, expats, because for an Asian expat, when he moves to the Middle East, you can stay in the country as long as you have a job. The day you don't have a job, they'll throw you out. So people are always looking for citizenship, where you stay in a country for many years and there you get offered citizenship. And that's one of the major benefits of being in the West, is if you work there for 5 years or 10 years in certain countries like Canada, Australia, you get, residency, and then you get citizenship. Okay, so now the question is, why didn't I do that? Okay, I made it clear that I'm not very comfortable with the Indian system or the Indian culture. I was born and raised in India, Mumbai, but raised in UAE. But I say born and raised because it becomes easier to just give one line. Others you have to explain, and I was born in Mumbai, and at the age of 2 or this, I went to, just make it easy, born and raised in Dubai. Okay, because as far as I remember, Dubai was home. Okay, UAE. So now, why didn't I change? See, there are a couple of factors you need to keep in mind if you're migrating. Okay, and it is not one size fits all. This is the mistake people make. Like, I'll give you in my case, my example. Now, if I had migrated to UK, if I had migrated to the West, let's say Canada, Australia, at the age of 20, or when I was young, or let's say even at the age of maybe 30, okay, it'd be fine. The ideal age to go abroad is when you're a child, so that you can study in school, or there you can get used to the culture, the environment, the people, make friends, build relationships, and it becomes easier to get into the system, to integrate yourself. But then if you don't have that luxury of being in school or college, then I would say you should migrate before the age of 30, to be very honest. Okay, before the age of 30. And I'll tell you why. Because if you go after the age of 30, you're looked upon as a person who, is reaching his midlife crisis, which is 40. And when you go at 30, see, the minute you land abroad, you have to start from scratch. You're not going to get a managerial position. You'll have to start from the junior most position. And then if you follow a normal life cycle, it'll take you at least 10 years to get to a slightly senior position. Even if you work very, very hard, unless you work, let's say 16 hours a day and you're obsessed about work. Otherwise, you'll be like any other normal employee. You will get your next 2 promotions within the next 10 years. Okay? However, after the age of 40, you can look at another maybe 1 or 2 more promotions or a raise. Okay? So here we are talking from the age of 30 till the age of 50. After 50, don't expect to climb anywhere top. Unless, of course, you're exceptional. So now, if you go after the age of 30 or around 40, see there, you will start from zero. By the time you get your first or second promotion, you're at what, 50? And then you're already finished, you know. Nobody is going to give you an opportunity. Now see, that is the first thing. The second thing is, are you a person who's comfortable working in the corporate world as an employee? Or do you want to create your own brand and live as your own boss? In my case, I never fit into the system. I never did. You know, you can make out with the tattoos and being a rebel and the personality that I am. I never fit into the system. So if I would go there, number one is, what job would I get? Maybe I'd get a security guard job. Maybe I'd get in a warehouse. I'm pretty sure nobody would give me a banking job, or nobody would give me a job in the corporate world. And anyway, I don't like it. So what are the jobs that I have? Just, you know, meager jobs here and there, driver and all that. And I'm not passionate about it. The third one is, I think this is the big mistake that people make, is you don't factor in that you have to pay taxes. You don't factor in that it's bloody expensive. See, going abroad is not, you know, all sunshine and rainbows and smelling roses. I know people who are working not 1 job, but 2 jobs, but 3 jobs. 3 jobs just to make ends meet. They are working one place and then they're going to another place, because you have to literally pay your bills. It's very, very expensive. And if you stay in some major cities, it seems even the rent is unbearable. People cannot manage. In fact, this is something that people don't think about. Have you ever thought about the fact that eating outside, going to restaurants, going to a movie, going for an outing is so bloody expensive, man. People don't realize how expensive it is. On top of that, you know, your earning capacity, what you're earning, let's say in the Middle East, with all its drawbacks, you're earning tax-free income, and you're earning much more than what you would earn in the West. In the West, they'll pay you per hour, and they'll pay you only as long as there is work. When there is no work, they'll say, there's no more work, you can go back home. What the fuck do you do, man? Where do you go? And always keep in mind that when you go any new place, you are a second choice. You're a second-class citizen. The preference is always to give citizens job. The preference is always to give people that they know, people that they have been born and raised and they have known as their friends. You're an outsider. You don't fit into their culture so very easily. And I experienced this when I got married to my Irish wife and I had gone to Dublin. I'll tell you, there was a major cultural shock. The way they celebrate their Christmas. Even though I was a Catholic Christian those days, even though they were Catholic Christian, the way they celebrated Christmas was different. The way they ate food was different. The way they, you know, had parties, raising up their children. I mean, it was a systemic shock for me. You know, for my Irish relatives, okay, those days, my ex-relatives, whatever, you know, for them, their Christmas would start something around, say, late October or early November. Christmas would start then. They would start drinking alcohol, Guinness and alcohol, for the whole fucking month, all the way until Christmas. Non-stop, they would drink like no one else's business. They would invite people over to drink. They would go to other people's house to drink. They would eat sausages and blood pudding and pork and bacon and barbecue, and you know, they were just, and their jokes and their conversations, I couldn't understand anything, you know. I was completely lost, and they found it so funny that I eat with my hands. They actually used to laugh at me. You know, even for me, the biggest shock was in the washroom, there was no water. You had to use fucking toilet paper. I was like, huh? Because, you know, for me, it was a shock that time at the age of, 20, 21. I was absolutely shocked. And then, you know, meeting other people, talking to friends, it became very hard to socialize. In fact, over there, you'll be surprised to know, people use the mode of transport. They prefer to go walking long distances. Some of them go cycling. Some of them take the bus. And, you know, when you have to go to work, there's a lot of traveling to be done. There are so many people who sleep in the bus, who sleep in the trains because they're exhausted. And then you go to the next job. So life is not a bed of roses there. People think, oh, I go to the West, oh, problems are solved. No. You'll be working 3 jobs. I was working 3 jobs just to pay bills. Here's another thing. Have you noticed that people, once they migrate, they are hardly on social media, some of them. They are completely invisible, many of them, because they don't have the time. The real people who are working just don't have time to be on social media. They're just busy working one after another, after another, after another. And here's another thing which you have not thought about. In many places like the US, you can stay there for 10 years or 15 years, 20 years. Some of them don't even get citizenship. And then they're asked to leave because of a policy change. Because the employer says, no, you know, there is no job. What do you do then, man? And see, here's another thing which I want you to think about. When you work for someone, at least this is my case, when you work for someone, you're not working for your brand. You're not working for yourself. You're working for somebody else. And the day you lose your job, you have to go and ask for another job. You have to go employ, you know, be in the unemployment line and ask for a job. And once again, it's no different than any other place. The only difference is, okay, there you have maybe in some places unemployment benefits. But how much is unemployment benefit? How much? You think it's enough to have a luxurious life? No. It's just hand-to-mouth existence. If that is okay with you, okay, fine. Unemployment benefits. Otherwise, it's the only plus point here, the only plus point is you have citizenship where they'll not throw you out. So you don't have a job, you can sit at home. The second benefit is, okay, a white passport, you can travel around the world, visa on arrival. But how my thinking was, if that is the only thing, visa on arrival or traveling around the world, why don't you focus on making shitloads of money? If you have money, you can travel anywhere in the world. If you have money, you can settle down anywhere in the world. If you have money, you can do anything. So why not focus on making money instead of, you know, going to another place? See, the fact of the matter is, people who normally opt for this, the majority, not all, the sizable majority, they go because they think grass is green on the other side. It is not green. And it's not that easy. I have spoken to quite a number of people. Yes, they are happy. I can assure you this much. They're very happy that they took this decision. And many of them are sitting at home, absolutely useless people. But they're sitting at home, they're enjoying life, they're comfortable. They have 2-3 properties and fine. There are some who are like that. Okay, no regrets. But that is only if you're ready to put your head down and work. 2 jobs or 3 jobs, 5 days a week or 6 days a week. Dedicate yourself. For me, I like to enjoy my life. I like to be happy. See, like right now, I'm walking and making this video. You seriously think I could do that if I was there abroad? And here's another factor. The expense. It's so bloody expensive, man. See, I can... my wife is not working. She's taking care of the baby. My target per month... No, per day, sorry. My target per day is around $150. Okay, $150 per day. I can cover the expense of rent, food, lawyer, legal bills, business, what I like to buy, everything. $150 plus a little savings. You think if you earn $150 a day abroad, you can cover all these expenses and look after your spouse who's not working and take care of your child and have a future. See, there are plus and minuses, okay? But for me, my personality, the person that I am, coming to Thailand at the age of 40 was the best bet. Had I gone to the West at the age of 40, I can assure you this much, I would be working as a security guard somewhere. I'd be working as a cleaner, or maybe in McDonald's. I don't know if McDonald's also would give me a job. Or I'd be flipping burgers. It would have been a very tough situation for me. And if I would do that, my online brand, my online presence would die out. See, you don't post video for a few days, people start forgetting you. Don't post for a few weeks, nobody remembers you. And you don't post for a few months, finished. You have lost your brand, everything. And I had put almost, I think, 10 to 11 years of effort online. So to give up all that, finished. I'd be nothing or nobody. And then the second part is, obviously, I told you, the tattoos and my personality. The third one is, I'd have to say goodbye to my freedom to do the things that I like. So overall, you know, when I evaluated it, for a guy at the age of 40 with these tattoos, with this personality, being a rebel who kind of loves his life and who wants to enjoy his life, it was not worth going. Definitely not worth. And one last thing, let me tell you. I've spoken to so many people who have been to Canada, who have been to US, who got the citizenship. People who were in the UAE. And I spoke to them heart to heart, you know. Asked them, so what do you feel and all that. This is what some of them have said and not all. They said, see Loy, when we migrated initially, that excitement, oh Canada, oh new life, oh we're going to start, and we're very happy. But he said, once we got the citizenship, once that excitement was over, he's saying then the daily grind started. I have to go to work, she has to go to work, we work, what, 5 days or 6 days a week. We come back, you know, normal life. And there are no friends, you know, there are no friends, there are no people to gather. They are just busy with their own work and their own life. There's hardly any social scene over there. And they kind of miss back home because, you know, they're not used to that culture. Yeah, on the plus side, yes, citizenship. Yes, the perks and benefits because you pay taxes. Okay. But apart from that, everything else is the same. So, what is the reason? What is the reason to go there? And, you know, the final point which I'll just give you is many people look at the end. Oh, when I achieve that, I'll be happy. That is why you see so many people saving money. Literally, you know, there are people in the UAE who worked 30 years without going for a single holiday back home. 30 years, 35 years, who built an amazing house, great villa. And they decide, okay, I'll go back home and retire. This has actually happened. Actually happened. Abu Dhabi airport, this Indian guy, 33 years, finally going back home, retired, after never taking a day off. On the airport, he got so overwhelmed with emotion, he died of a heart attack. See the fun. You work 30 years of your life, 30, 35 years, saved money, worked like a dog, built the house, and now your dead body will be sent over there. For what? It's like you work your whole life to build a house so that you can have your remainder days, last days, to die there. I mean, you spend the best years of your life suffering, and when you cannot enjoy the best years of your life, now you want to retire. What's the use of that? With regards to me, I don't know if I live or die. I don't know. I will die, but I don't know when will I die. So I'm not going to wait until that day. Oh, 20 years later I'll get this and that. No. I enjoy each and every day of my life. Each and every day I choose to be happy. And I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying the journey, you know, so that if I reach the destination and I'm not happy, I'll be like, no complaints. I enjoyed all those years and moments of my life. But if on the other hand, I don't enjoy the journey at all and I reach the destination and there I'm miserable, I'll be like, what the fuck was the point of existing, man? So just to encapsulate, what I want to tell you is, big if you're young and you can go abroad, please go. Please go, study in the school, study in the college, get an education that they recognize over there, and then it's worth it. Okay? And obviously things will work out very well for you. But if you're in a midlife kind of phase, 30, 40, you go there, you'll be miserable. Because you'll have someone half your age ordering you, bossing you around. None of your experience or your education will be recognized. You'll have to work from zero all the way again. And then have to wait another 10 years, 15 years to reach the same position which you reached. I mean, what the fuck is it worth it? Better than that, just earn the big money where you're earning, right? Why do you think so many people at the age of 40, 50 or 60, they don't leave UAE and they don't go? Because you'll not get the same perks or benefits. If you are, let's say, executive director in Dubai, don't expect you'll become executive director in USA. And I know plenty of people, they don't put their stories on social media. There are plenty of people who went abroad and it was a mess, it was a fiasco, it was a mistake. And then they don't know what to do. So we always focus on the success stories, but we seldom want to listen to the failures. So I would just tell you that evaluate yourself individually, find out, you know, check based on all these points that I've suggested, and then decide whether you want to go or not. Because remember, it's not going to be a bed of roses. And make sure that you have money. If you don't have money saved, because for the first year, money will just burn, it'll burn a hole. Coming to Thailand itself, I burned through fucking, I thought it was going to be dirt cheap. Turned out to be bloody expensive settling down, man. And the bills don't get over, it never ends. Each and every day is a struggle. I'll tell you, I speak to so many 60-year-old who are based in Europe, they're still working. So don't think it's going to be easy, it's going to be a cakewalk. All in all, I want to tell you is, life is hard. It's going to be a fucking struggle. And if you are an immigrant who is going abroad, don't think for a minute it's going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be even more harder for you, because people don't talk about it, but there is favoritism, there is racism, there is special preference. And if your communication skills are not good, if you don't know how to market, if you don't know how to market yourself, sell yourself, if you're not adaptable, if you do not know how to adapt to the new changes, you'll end up from frying pan to the fire. Because take it from me, it's not that easy. If that was the case, everyone would be rushing off there. Everyone would be staying there. Nobody would want to be anywhere else. Last thing, just as a point, a question. Remember this much. There are so many Americans, Europeans, Canadians, Australians who are right now without a job, who are unemployed, who have bank loans to their, up to the tip of their nose where they would drown and die, who have no hope, who are literally homeless, who have nothing to fall back on. Why? Just ask yourself why. If the West was paradise and a solution to all the problems, there would be nobody homeless, unemployed, there would be nobody with any problems, they'll all be happy. We don't hear these stories because this is not fun to listen to. We like to hear motivational, success, oh I did it, I achieved 7-figure I have achieved my dreams. Jack Ma, Elon Musk. And life is not a Hollywood movie production, my friend. So I hope this gives you a perspective why I did what I did and why I choose to be where I am. Just follow this principle. If you are a smart guy, you can succeed where you are at the moment and do the best of what you have. Capitalize on it and then look for the next opportunity. Don't try to run away from a situation and expect things to get better. So anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it answers your question and gave you food for thought. Put your comments down below. I love to read what you guys have to say. All right, this is me signing off. Take care.